Hello, Jon Connolly here. This time we're going to get into automation in Pro Tools. Automation is the ability to change a parameter over time. The most common use is volume automation. I want the volume to change on a particular track up or down over time. I want it to increase during the verse, let's say if it's a lead vocal, and I want it to decrease a little bit in the chorus section. Really easy to do. Now this is a function that has been in recording since probably the 70s or 80s. Having the ability to automate simply volume levels used to cost tens of thousands of dollars to implement. It was very difficult to use. You had to read a thick manual and all that stuff. Not necessary anymore. I have a single audio track. It's a stereo audio track with a theme song that you're probably familiar with. Let's listen to it. Okay. So I want the volume to change on that over time. So it's really easy to do. I have in the Pro Tools edit window, not only do I see the track, but I have the I/O view enabled. If you don't see the I/O view, go to this little white rectangle right above the uppermost track there and click on that and check I/O. And that will give you that I/O column there, opening and closing it right there. This will do two things. It will allow you to see what input and output that track is currently using. I have no input because I just dragged this audio clip onto the track, so I don't need an input at this point. But the output is going out of the my main output. And more importantly for this example, I have access to the volume. So if I grab this volume fader, this is my volume control. Okay, and then I have pan. So this is a stereo track, so I have a left panner and I have the right pan. I want it to maintain that stereo output, so I have the left channel panned hard to the left right there, and then I have the right channel panned hard to the right. The volume is what I'm going to automate in this pass. Really easy to do. So you'll notice right below the track name and the solo and the mute buttons, the waveform view is what I'm looking at. There's a button labeled read. I'm going to switch that to touch, and I want to see the volume moves that I'm making as I record them. So I'm going to switch this waveform view, which is the default view for audio tracks, to volume. Click and drag, and that black line across the middle of the track represents the current volume level, or where my volume fader sits, right? So if I take that up or take it down, it's going to apply that level to the whole track, which is fine in most cases. But I want the volume to change as I go, right? So I'm going to start playback at the top of the clip there. And as I go in touch mode, I'm going to change that volume. I'm going to ride the volume up and ride it down. When I let go, it will stop riding. It will only ride while I'm clicking and holding on the volume. Here we go. You'll notice the touch button turns red. I'm riding automation. And you can see the red line representing the level of the volume as I'm riding it. I'm going to take it down, and then I'm going to let go, and it will come back up to the level, the volume level that it was before I started riding. That's touch mode. Now the cool thing is, if I start playback from the same location, Pro Tools is automatically going to read those volume moves that I just made. That's it. Really easy to do. Put it in touch, grab the parameter that you want to automate, and hit play, and then go. Here, let's play that again. The volume comes up. And volume comes down. If I want to edit that, I can do a lot of things. I can click and drag over it and delete it if I don't like it at all. I'm going to undo that. But maybe I just want to touch it up. Maybe it's okay, but there's a couple areas that I want to adjust a little bit. I'm going to zoom in just a bit on it so we can see a little bit better. Now, start playback. I'm not going to touch the fader, volume fader, until the location that I want to change that volume. Do it right about there. Now I'm writing new automation, and I let go. Now when I hit stop, you'll see that automation graph update to reflect the new volume level for this track. That's touch mode, very easy to do. Latch mode is very similar. The difference is when I let go of the parameter that I'm writing, it will continue to write at the level that I let go. So let's try that. So I'm going to start playback right here, and I'm going to can read the existing automation, and I'm going to click and drag on the volume. I'm going to take the volume down, and I'm going to let go. And you'll notice that it's still writing. Unlike touch mode, as soon as I let go, it'll stop writing. Latch mode will continue to write at the level that I let it go until I hit stop or I reach the end of the song. Either way. Now I hit stop. Now there's the new level that I just wrote. So touch and latch, very easy to use. Now, for example, I get a session from somebody and they have automation in it. Maybe I want to listen to the session without automation. I can easily do that by going to this same automation button on the track and turning it off. The automation will still remain, but Pro Tools will ignore it. So now it's going to play at whatever volume level I set the track. Off. And then read mode will allow me to read existing automation, and if, for example, I want to temporarily override that, I can grab the volume fader, change it up or change it down, and it won't overwrite or affect the existing automation. So the next pass that I make, assuming I don't hold that parameter, it will continue at the level that's written. So I'll try it again right here. It's in read mode. Now, once I have the automation on the track, I can do a lot of things with it. I can cut, copy, and paste. I'll copy it, duplicate it out if I want, or I can use the pencil tool as well, and I can just draw in automation if I want. Very easy to do, very powerful. It allows you to really fine-tune your mixes. Okay, the automation mode you really want to watch out for is write mode. And I can click on the automation button and go to write. This is dangerous because if you have existing automation on your track that you like and you put your track in write, you'll notice that the write button is red already and I'm parked. If I hit play, it's going to immediately start writing new automation at the level that the parameter sits. So as you can see, I'm overriding the existing automation that I had. To me, this is kind of dangerous because it's just really easy to blow out some automation you might have spent some time writing. So I tend to stay away from write. I use touch and latch modes all the time. And you can see it just flattened out my automation. Of course I can always undo it, but the point is write is a little bit dangerous.